Engines scream under Hamilton skies. Saturday night where the legends rise. Full distance, no shortcuts in sight. Full race laps in the dead of night. Rubber burns and the lights go out. Strategy wars and overtaking cloud. On the edge with every turn. For glory, pride, and tires that burn. This is PRF1. We don't play pretend. Flat out racing right to the end. This is PRF1, like thunder and flame. Flat out right to the end. Cabin's voice like thunder and flame. Call it every pass, every name. Saturday thunder, speeding on veins, fueling the passion, driving insane. No pit lane drama can stop the ride. In the Hamilton heat, we come alive. From pole to T20, it's anyone's fight. One bad call and you're out of the light. Rain or shine, we roll the dice. Every second's a sacrifice. EOS flows, the DRS fly. Risking it all for that podium high. Team radio screen, tensions collide. But Gavin's calm, he's the racing guy. And when the battles get tight, when it's wheel to wheel in the night, you'll hear what a move in Gavin's tone. Like Marie Walker in a modern zone. This is PRF1, where passion ignites. Tarmac warriors chasing the lights. Full race mode, no quarter show. Hamilton League, where skills are grown. Unbelievable scenes here tonight. And that's why you don't blink during PRF1. You get it a Engines scream under Hamilton skies. Saturday night where the legends rise. Full distance, no shortcuts in sight. Full race laps in the dead of night. Rubber burns and the lights go out. Strategy wars and overtaking cloud. On the edge with every turn. For glory, pride, and tires that burn. This is PRF1. We don't play pretend. Flat out racing right to the end. This is PRF1 like thunder and flame. Flat out right to the end. Captain's voice like thunder and flame. Call it every pass, every name. Saturday thunder, speeding on things.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's Gavin Bass1 from Ireland, your commentator for tonight in this PRF1 Saturday night Hamilton League. I must say it's an absolute honour to be here tonight, and congratulations to the team owner, the league owner, and all of his administrators for putting this together and providing us with a fantastic platform to race on a Saturday night in this new Hamilton League. Tonight's a very, very important league, and this is where the bosses are having a look at everybody's driving, and just how, depending on how fast they go or how slow they go, that will determine what cars they will drive for the new season incoming in a couple of weeks, or maybe even next week. I'm not too sure. But I'm Gavin Bass1. It's a Saturday night. This is PRF1 or PRF1, and we're just starting our short quali. And then we'll be jumping into a full race, and that race will be 66 laps long, and this qualifying session will be in around about another 16 minutes time. So please, please, please enjoy tonight. Get your family around the TV. I'll not be swearing much, so it's very, very much a family show. And I'm just going to check my microphone to make sure it's working, first of all. And it is. And it is. So, anybody watching, I would encourage you to speak to me through Twitch and keep the messages coming. It's nice to have a bit of company. Shout-outs for your wives, children, divorces, birthdays, newborn babies, anything like that. Just you shout them out, and Gavin Bass will definitely be there for you. But just having a look at the racers for tonight, some very, very familiar names. We've got Daddy Day, Snipes, and Hilly. Hey, Hilly. I've raced with Hilly before. Shaggy 653, Misfits, The Dark Lord 93, Jesus, Dystopian. DK, good friend of mine, DK from Scotland. He's a belly full of haggis, and he's ready to do a lot of damage out there. And I'll just say I'll give you a bit more information on DK later. Then we've got Vice Racing in the Aston Martin. Another good friend of mine's the Dark Mark. Hi Marcus, he's in the Ferrari tonight. Another guy I know very well is Master Spread. He's in the Haas. Hi Master Spread. Then we've got Morgan Hughes. And we've got Vaxi and Smith, Hosty and Fuse Demon. So I don't think I've missed anybody there, and I'm just going on 13.2. Morgan Hughes is, and now Dystopian with a 113.7. So look how close the first four are, and we just haven't even started, and we're on with the Dark Lord in the Red Bull in quali, and we're just going to get up some information, and let's see what we've got. We've got some telemetry, and we've got the full track map up, and we're just going to ride on board now with this guy in the Red Bull. He's Dark Lord in 93 as he starts his qualification lap in the Spanish Grand Prix at Catalonia in Barcelona. So coming up to this right-hander, he brakes very heavily there, round that nicely and taking lots of the apex on the left. Gathering up speed round this swiping right-hander. And then at this one, he'll be banging on the brakes and keeping it tight round to this right-hand corner, riding the curb slightly, which is lovely. Then into this left-hander, Master Spread puts in a 114.3. Master Spread sandbagging, I know him very well. He can do well better than that. So keep an eye out for Master Spread as this race goes on and the qualification continues. But we're staying on board with the Dark Lord here, and I want to see this through to the final start and finish grid and just see what he's got here. Dark Lord's one of the lads I don't know too much about. I don't know whether he's a fast guy, mid-table, or lower in the grid. I don't know, but this will tell as he comes round now to this sweeping right-hander and approaching the start and finish grid to give us his time. He's got lots of battery left. He didn't use all that much of it, but he puts in a 114.568. That's not a bad lap. So there you have it. The top 8 guys have put times in now, and there's a lot more guys going out. So I'm going to jump on board with somebody very, very soon as I see them. We're on with Misfits here at the moment as he comes over the start and finish line. What's good Misfits got? He's got a good time of 114 more or less dead, and that puts him in 9th position for this evening. On with Vice. He's coming round the corner now onto this very fast part of the track. He's approaching 179, 89, 92 miles per hour round the left-hander. Keeps it nice and tight round here. Swings round to the right, heavy braking here, and then just slowly onto the accelerator and expresses down onto this right-hander, hugging the curb, taking as much of the track as he can, round onto the start-finish grid, and now we're going to have Vice Racing putting in a fantastic lap at 113.719. That's a super lap. Well done, Vice. So I'm going to pop down to Marcus, and Marcus is a good friend of mine. I've raced with him, played golf with him. I know a lot about this guy. Probably, in my opinion, one of the most consistent, steady racers that I've ever watched and commentated on. He's always there, thereabouts. Great racing manners, knows what to do, knows how to read the track, knows what strategies to go for, and he's just about to go over the line now. And he's off now on his fast lap. So let's see what Dark Mark can do in this Ferrari. As he goes round this right-hander, he gets that a wee bit wide. I don't know whether he'll back off there or not, but he seems to be expressing on. Guys, don't forget to communicate with me on Twitch. It keeps me company. Get the wives, get the children, get everybody round that TV. Let them watch their dads racing, or let those dads watch their sons racing. But this is a family stream, and I will not be doing too much swearing or bad words as we just watch Dark Mark coming into this left-hander. He takes a lot of the apex there, which is fantastic. Slams them on, and round he comes, and he goes nicely onto the accelerator, sweeping round the right-hander, and he's now approaching the start-finish line, and he's going to put in a fast lap, and let's see where Dark Mark comes in. Oh, he comes in at a 113.8. My goodness, there's nothing separating these guys. All top 10, apart from Master Spread, who's sandbagging. everyone's in the 113s, so it's going to be brilliant to see this race tonight. We're on with Andrew Smith, and he's just started his fast lap. So we'll stay on board with this McLaren, and we'll see what Andrew's got. I've watched Andrew race before. He's a good wee racer, but he does struggle from time to time just keeping the penalties on board. So let's just see what he's got today. I wish him the best of races. I'd like to see Andrew doing well tonight. Good manners from the driver on the left, letting Andrew through. That's good stuff. Nothing worse than people blocking people on the track when they're on their hot laps. The awareness in this game are crucial. You've just got to keep an eye on everything as Andrew comes round this corner. He hasn't used an awful lot of his battery, so I'm just wondering, is he going for a second lap? But we'll count this one anyway. And Andrew puts in a 1:14.7 and slows down. So I'm going to jump into the pits just a second, and I'm going to take a breath and take a puff of my nice new lemon and lime vape tonight. We're on with Master Spread. He's driving the Haas and he's got 57% of the battery left, so he is on a lap. He'll swing round this right-hander. This is one guy I would definitely be pipping to be in the top 3, definitely the top 5. But I can tell you what, this league is absolutely jam-packed with very racers. I've been doing commentary now on PRF1 division. Going to bounce on the Fuse. Need to find a few who owns the league and blah blah blah. But I know Fuse used to be a commentator and he's now enjoying a bit of racing. Fuse is never far away, and he's got pace. He's just warming those tyres up. Gets a wee bit too far onto the grass while he's doing it. Little lack of concentration there, Mr. Fuse. But he's just making sure those tyres are up to temperature before he starts this fast lap. And I'm going to stay on with Fuse Demon because I like watching this guy. He is definitely going to be up there. But like everybody else, he's getting used to this 2025 platform on this new F1 game. And there are quite a lot of changes. One of them mainly is the way you have to brake slightly later than normal. The other is you can ride the curbs way more than you used to be able to. But the most difficult and the most important thing is the braking going into the pits. I've seen so many people being caught out over this last week. I've done about 3 or 4 different streams this week, and I've been seeing a lot of 10-second penalties. Just too late going into that braking zone before the pit lane. Probably techniques and methods that they used to use in the F1 24 game, but I can tell you guys, that ain't going to work on the 25 game, even if it costs you a little bit of time. Jump on those brakes a bit early and try going into the pits. That can be a race. The Fuse as he comes right-hander and softly onto the accelerator, and now he gets up to top speed and he's going to go round this swiping right-hander and he's going to come into the start-finish straight now. And let's see what Fuse does. Can he better? Yes, he can. He betters it by 200ths and he's now on a 1:13.73. And as I say that, the Scottish Haggis Eater has just come in with the fastest lap of 1:13.1. That's an incredible lap from DK. 4 minutes and 33 seconds left of this quali lap. And I'm just going to bounce on with Hilly. He hasn't put in a time yet. Oh, he has, a 1:13.5, so he's one of the fast guys. I've raced with Hilly before, and Hilly and I have spoken before. Really good guy, does a bit of singing. Excuse me. But can Hilly make any advances on this 113.554 that currently holds 8th position? I hope he can. I'd like to see Hilly in the top 5 here. Hilly's one of the guys that personally has given me a wee bit of encouragement and lately has told me that my racing has improved. I was struggling for a long, long time, but thankfully now I'm starting to get to grips with track awareness and cornering and all the things that you need to concentrate. But let's go, Hilly, as he crosses over the line now, and he hits that DRS and off he goes. Somebody in front of him, all giving him good manners on the right. That's fantastic. He takes that corner really, really nicely and sweeps round the left onto this right-hander. Doesn't take too much of that curb because that can set you off. Makes the car a little unstable if you ride that curb. But you can take a little bit of this one, as Hilly demonstrates, as he then just sprints down towards this left-hander. But this is a hard braking one, and he does it well and takes all of that apex onto the bit of the rumble strip on the left. He expresses up the hill, round the left-hander, straight back onto the throttle again, and up he goes round this sweeping, nearly enough full speed right-hander before this DRS zone as he approaches this tight left-hander. And round he goes. We're in Spain, Barcelona, Catalonia, and I'm Gavin Bass 1 for PRF's new Hamilton division on a Saturday night. This is a 100% race with equal cars turned off. But we're not worried about Hilly, or equal cars. We're worried about Hilly. Can he make any difference to that 113? Yes, he can. He puts it up into P5, as I would like to have seen. And he's now put in a 113.3. So I'm on with Jesus. Jesus has timed it perfectly here. What a name, Jesus. Our Lord Jesus Christ is racing tonight in this Alpine car. DK still holds that fastest lap at 113.17, but while we're in the pits, I'm going to tell you a little bit about DK. So Jesus 422 is getting himself nice and relaxed round this right-hander. On he goes to the DRS and off he goes for his fast lap. He left it to the last minute. Can he do anything about this 113, 117 of DK? Oh no, he's come up against traffic. I hope this guy moves for him. He does. Excuse me. Takes that left-hander beautifully. Gets onto the throttle nice and early. He's got pace round this right-hander, and he doesn't back off too much. He's got the flat out onto the DRS, and he's approaching 198 miles per hour before he slams on the brakes round this tight left. Baxy's just put in a hot lap of 112.870. Oh my God, Baxy. That is an amazing lap. Well done, sir. And Jesus gets a 113.544. And 2 minutes remaining of this lap. Can anybody knock Baxi off that top spot? I don't think they will, but I could be wrong. Shaggy's just finishing off his lap. Oh, he dives into the pits. We're on the master spread. Hi DK, turn the stream off to focus on the fast lap, haha. What do you think? P1 in the Alpine? Well, that's history now, sir. You're now P5 in the Alpine because Vaxi, the Dark Mark, Morgan Hughes and Daddy Day Snipes have put you in 5th position. So 5th position's no slouch. That's a good place to be starting, especially with your anticipation of their grid. I would expect DK to be up into the top 3 after the first couple of corners. So master spread remains at 113,505, and that's more or less the end of this, I think. Just riding on board with Hosty. He's driving the Aston Martin, 7th place at the moment. And his best time's 113.329. So that's the qualification finished. Yes, DK, hope you get a good start, buddy. Really enjoying tonight. So there you have it. Vaxi, P1, Dark Mark 2, Morgan Hughes 3, Daddy Day Snipes 4, DK, Shaggy, Hosty in 7th, Hilly in 8th, Master Spread 9th, The Dark Lord in 10th, Jesus in 11th, Vice Racing in Dystopian, High Dystopian number 13, Fuse Demon is 14, Misfits, High Misfits in 15, Andrew P. Smith on 16. And there's not too much between drivers in this league. We've got quite a few people watching us tonight, and I really appreciate anybody watching. And if you are watching, send me a few texts on Twitch, keep me awake, and give me some banter. And if you have anything you want me to announce tonight, I'll be very, very happy to do so. I'm Gavin Bass 1. We're now in the pits between the qualification and the race, and this is where the drivers get their thinking caps on. The one thing I didn't mention is the tyres in this new F125 game. And as far as I know, Spain is quite hard on tyres. So we could see 2 and possibly 3 stops here tonight. So it's going to be a battle of the strategies, that's for sure. The one guy that I know is very, very good at strategies is the Dark Mark. And Marcus has got his head round most things quite early on. And I'll be watching Dark Mark quite closely tonight just to see where he is. But people often ask me to give my opinions and make predictions for the top 5 in this league and those times from quali. I just could not call it. It would be a complete and utter guess. But certainly Vaxi has just put a very impressive lap in. Now, whether he has a quali setup in there and he's going to race on a quali setup and maybe his tyres are going to scrub, I just don't know. Maybe that was a race setup and just an absolutely epic lap. But he deserves P1. He's the only man, I think, that hit the 112s. So that's a real fast lap round Spain. Looks like the weather's dry at the moment. But the drivers will inform me on Twitch, I'm sure, if there's going to be rain in the forecast. But just back to DK. I've raced with DK now on and off for about 8 months to a year. This lad's from Scotland, and he started off racing in the TSD leagues and the PRF1 leagues. In fact, he's still with them. And he wasn't great. He always had a bit of pace, but he was struggling terribly to keep the car on track and to finish races. But I've been watching him over the last 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks possibly, just before the last season ended, and he was starting to get himself in pole positions, and he was putting himself in P1s and P2s. So this guy, definitely, in my opinion, and in some other people's opinion, I know Mad Mark, a commentator from other leagues, I know Mad Mark definitely rates DK as one of the best improved drivers, and I would love to see DK putting those words to a podium this evening. I'm sure the guys are having a 5-minute break, which is always very welcome for everybody. But some details on Spain. As I say, it's Barcelona, Catalonia, and it's a 4.657 kilometre track, and it has 14 turns in total. The pit loss time on this track is 22.2 seconds, and the stationary time normally averages out about 2.5 when they're changing. The safety car probability tonight is only a 38% with 25% chance of a virtual safety car. The DRS zones, really good overtaking spots, is turn 9, and then obviously on the main straight there's another one. And one of the most popular places to make those overtakes is in the turn 1, just after the DRS zone. So I'm really, really hoping to see some real battles here, clean battles. And remember, this is your debut tonight, guys, for the bosses of the league to have a look, to see what cars you're going to drive in the season upcoming very shortly. So if you're a fast guy, you're going to be put in a slow car, and if you're a slower guy, they'll go into a faster car, which is absolutely, in my words, very fair and the way to do it. So a real challenge for everybody tonight. There's really, really, really serious tyre wear here this evening, especially on your front left due to the abrasive surface and fast corners. So just watch that front left. And, they're all saying here any strategies that they look at could be a 2-stop, but I think things have changed. I think we're going to see possibly some 3 stops here. So it's going to really wash out into a very, very interesting race. And I'm sure the guys are excited to be part of this new F1 on a Saturday night Hamilton division. DK, I really appreciate those kind words, my friend. I'll see what I can do. Well, all you can do, DK, is your best. And as they sit on the grid and they're off on their formation lap now for this full race lap at Spain, PRF1, I'm Gavin Bass, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. So let's have a look at those tyres. Everybody's out on mediums apart from Hilly, Jesus, and they're all on the softs. So they're obviously wanting to use those softs in the first section pace and get themselves up the grid a bit. But everybody else is thinking the same way. They've all got the medium tyres on. But it's going to be really, really interesting to see how long these medium tyres last. Medium, soft is a good, not too sure. I think people will be using the hard tyres here tonight to see if they can get some sort of distance out of these tyres. But time will tell as the race develops, and I'll be on it as best as I possibly can. Forgive me, lads, of some of the people on here tonight I've never seen before. I've never seen Jesus before racing, and I don't think have been on board with the Lord before. I'm not too sure. Maybe once, I'm not too sure. I think I've seen Vice racing before. But most of these guys, out of the 16 drivers, I know I've raced with them or I've done commentary on. But they're lining up on the grid, and I'm going to jump on board with P3, who is Morgan Hughes, and we'll see how he goes. Here we go. And they're away. And Vaxi seems to get a really, really good start. Everybody seems to keep it clean round this first corner, but somebody goes out in the Alpine. Yes, that's Jesus gets to the left, and he's had a really bad start to this race. But there's DK up into 4th position, Alpine, and he's now chasing down Morgan Hughes, Dark Mark and Vaxi. So he's had a clean start, and he's now wanting to settle into this race. But nothing between them, nothing whatsoever. We'll just go round round this corner. Lap 1 of 66 in Spain, Barcelona. And there's a lot of amigos trying to make places on this grid. And somebody just made a really nice move there in the Red Bull. I think that was Misfits, put himself up into P7. Misfits is now going to try and take Hosty. So we'll just stay on board for Misfits for a little second. Vaxi gets the fastest lap at a 1:21.319. Dark Mark's got himself up into a 2nd position with Morgan Hughes 3rd and DK 4th, but Vaxi, he's out front and he does not want to get rid of this P1 position at the moment, and he's on those medium tyres. Let's have a look and see who's done what. So the biggest gainer tonight is a massive 8 places in 2 laps, and that goes to Misfits. He has had a tremendous start to this race. What a gain in 2 laps. Misfits, take a bow. That is amazing. But Vaxi's just got that 0.7 of a second, and he sticks in another fastest lap at 1:17.8. So Vaxi's showing a serious bit of pace here. But the Dark Mark, Morgan Hughes and DK are not letting him away. But after that, there's a bit of separation down to Hosty, and behind Hosty's Misfits and Shaggy. We'll just pop down to them. There's Hosty in the Aston Martin, but as you can see, he's got Misfits in the Red Bull and Shaggy in that Williams right behind, and a plethora of cars following that. Master Spread hasn't had the best of starts here, but we'll just ride on board with him. But he'll not be worrying. Master Spread's very, very good at the long game, and he'll be thinking ahead. But everybody behind Hosty is within the DRS zone of everybody. So this is a massive, massive, massive DRS train. Just check this out, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys, and including Andrew, well done Andrew, all in this DRS train, all searching for this magical P4 position that DK currently holds. But these leaders are going to pull away because they're now 2.3 seconds ahead of everybody else, and I'm just going to ride on board with them. We're on with Morgan Hughes in 3rd position in the Mercedes. Wow, what pace these top 3 guys have had. I don't know whether they had a full English breakfast this morning or not, but they've definitely sprinkled something on it. Some magical powder, but by God, they are pacey. And the guys behind DK are going to find it so difficult to catch this up. He hits the DRS zone and he gets even closer to Dark Mark. But DK's doing exactly what DK should be doing, and that's just staying on the train here, keeping himself in that DRS train. Relax, buddy. Just get yourself into a nice rhythm. Do your Uncle Gavin proud tonight. Keep that car on the track and give us a result. There'll be nobody prouder than me if DK can come in the top 5 in this race, because I can tell you, DK, you are up amongst some of the best racers that I've watched. But I'm just going to bounce down to Dystopian. He's another one of my favourite drivers, one of the smoothest drivers that I think I've witnessed. He also plays a very good long game. So he's chasing down Hilly. I've raced with Hilly before and he ain't no slow boy, I can tell you. So Dystopian's got his work cut out for him to try and get past Hilly. But what they can't do is battle too hard, because if they do so, they're just going to drop time to DK. But as I say that, Hosty is wheeling them in. Let's see if Hosty can do something about it. He's in the Aston Martin and he's getting closer and closer to DK. But he's going to have to use up quite a bit of his battery to do so. I think we've got a penalty-free race so far. Yes, we have. Absolutely no penalties so far. Lap 5 of 66 coming into lap 6. I hope I don't give it commentator's curse, but I did announce earlier that there's a very low percentage chance of a safety car tonight, 37%. And we're on board with an awful lot of really, really good drivers, so they might just keep that honest. Virtual safety car probability is even lower at 28%. But the tyre degradation here is serious, and it's going to be interesting to see who makes that first pit stop, especially the lads on the soft tyres this evening in Catalunya in Spain. But Hosty's gained 100th and now 200ths. He's now only 1.5 seconds behind the number 4 spot of DK. So this is really, really good stuff. What a difficult thing to do whenever you're following a DRS zone of 4 top guys. But I can tell you what, I'm going to put Hosty down as a flipping top guy, because this is incredible. He's gaining, and he's continued to gain. So I'm going to bump down to Dark Lord, and I'm going to give Dark Lord some coverage, because he's chasing down Fuse Demon. He's in this Red Bull, and Fuse is driving the McLaren this evening. So Andrew P. Smith's in a McLaren, Fuse Demon's in a McLaren, and Dark Lord's behind the two of them. And I want to see if he can make the filling in a McLaren sandwich. Let's just see if he can do it. So I'm going to stay on board and ride on board with him, just to see what he can do. Hosty's now got himself in the the DRS zone, and Misfit's not far from being there. Neither is Shaggy, and neither is Daddy Day Snipes. So these guys are all going to be in a zone of about 8 guys if they can catch up. But again, we're back on board to see if there can be a move made on these McLarens. Andrew, you're racing very well tonight, sir. Good to see it. But you've got your glasses filled with a Red Bull behind you, and that Red Bull is the Dark Lord 93. And the Dark Lord wants to get past you, and he's got DRS, so he's going to be right on your pipe within seconds. And he will be after these couple of turns. And there you go, pulled in quite a bit of time there and gets himself even closer to the rear of this McLaren. But as yet, he's been failed to do so, and he's going to keep on trying. But Misfit's dropped now a 1.6 second behind Hosty, and he's now got the job of trying to track down this DRS zone of the leaders. And I'm just going to bounce on with these guys. Have a look at this, all flying around that corner. DK's got himself out in the second position. That's fantastic from DK. Go on, DK. Apologies for anybody watching, but I do get quite excited, and especially when my friends are racing. And I can certainly say that DK is my friend. And he's had an awful lot of bad luck and persevering with this game. And he really, really, really deserves to be where he is, because he's putting the time in practice. I'm just going to... But Morgan Hughes and Dark Mark and Hosty are all in this DRS zone, with Misfits now on the train, and Daddy Day Snipes, Hilly, Dystopian, Jesus, Shaggy, all in the DRS zone. Unbelievable stuff at Spain for this PRF1 new division on a Saturday night. This is the Hamilton division, and I'm Gavin Bass 1, and I'm really, really enjoying being your commentator tonight. I'm also the commentator for the Lauda division on a Tuesday night with PRF1 that provides some fantastic racing. So lads, I can really recommend this league. Get involved. If you want some clean, respectful driving, generally speaking, this league has got it all. But Morgan Hughes is just dropping down now. He's got out of that DRS zone, and he's letting DK and Vaxi run away with this. Oh, a Ferrari goes really wide there onto the grass, gets a 3-second penalty. Don't know what happened to Dark Mark, but there it is. There's the gentleman that I talked about earlier, Marcus. He just gave that position back, and quite rightly so. Well done, Marcus. That's a lesson to everybody in how to behave and conduct yourself on an F1 track in this game. If only more people did things like that, we would all be much more happy. But as now, I don't think the stewards are going to be too busy. But the Dark Mark picked up a 3-second penalty for that, and it'll be dead at 3-second penalty. Fuse Demon's the only other person with penalties. Fastest lap at the moment's Jesus at 1:17.5, so Jesus, take a bow. Back to position changes. 9 position gain for Misfits. If Misfits can keep a clean sheet tonight and he continues to get up this positions, he may be a contender for my driver of the day. But to gain 9 positions in 11 laps takes skill. He holds off DK. Morgan Hughes on the back of Dark Mark. A move on Dark Mark around this right-hander. Then there's going to be a heavy braking zone on the left here for this left-hander. Takes all of it. And he wants to be tight on the gearbox coming up to this right-hander at the top of the hill. If he does so, there's a potential move to be made. And let's just see if he can make that move. Just errs on the side of caution round there. But this is race pace, guys. Not quality. So, a wee bit there from Morgan. Are those medium tyres? And we're on with Hilly. Hilly's driving the Williams, and he's chasing down that Red Bull. Master Spread gets a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings going off the track. So even the most experienced drivers are picking up penalties so far. That's a sign. But those soft tyres have got Misfits up to where he is in 7th position, and Hilly's now in 8th in the softs, but Jesus is in 10th. But these guys' softs are got to be starting to give them sort of problems, and they'll be saying, when am I going to pit? When's the best time to do it? So they're going to be watching very, very carefully. One person I haven't been on much with tonight, and he's in the Ferrari, and he's sitting beautifully in P6, stunning these mediums. So let's see what Daddy's got. This is a great part of the track to gain a wee bit of time. And yes, he seems to do so. He's now just 1 second behind Hosty, so he needs to squeeze him. And squeeze him he's doing. He's now nipping it down under the 0.9 seconds. So he's going to get himself into that DRS zone beautifully. And we've got ourselves one serious race here on a Saturday night. Hosty's in the Aston Martin, and he's having a look at Morgan Hughes. I'm just going to ride on board with Hosty. And Hosty's going to make that move. He wangs on the brakes, but he's got the line, and he's got the inside line going round here, so I expect him to hold it. Yes, he does. So the Aston Martin gets himself up with Hosty on board into P4, and he's now chasing down Dark Mark, but he's got 2.5 seconds to gain here, and it's going to be tough. But Morgan Hughes isn't going to sit and watch that, that's for sure. He's got that Ferrari of Daddy Daysnipes behind him, and Daddy's making a beautiful move. Past he goes, and he says goodbye to Morgan, and a big goodbye. That's a great move, sir. And he carries that pace right into that right and left-hander, and he's now really, really close to becoming on the back of Hosty in the Aston Martin. So some great racing here tonight, guys. Just going to tap down to Vice. Vice is in P15, and Vice is chasing down the Dark Lord. Vice is in the other Aston Martin tonight, and the Dark Lord's in the other Red Bull, and there's a McLaren in front of him. So can he, at any stage, get past these two Red Bulls? Quite honestly, I wouldn't like him to be in the shoes of Vice at the moment, because to make a move on the two Red Bulls in Spain is going to be an epic move. And if he does so, I hope the hell I'm on board to see it, because I'd love him to be the ham in the sandwich. He's got pace. He's cooking like an oven chip here, and he's chasing down these two McLarens. But where is he going to be able to make a move? I just can't see that opening happening. So the battle continues up at the front, and we're just going to ride on board with them as well. Look at this. Faxy's back in the lead. Dark Mark's in second, and DK's in third. All on 14-lap-old hards, and we're in P15 now of 66 laps at the Spanish Grand Prix. What a night of racing, what a night of clean racing, and what a super job the administrators and owners of this league have provided for you drivers. You have now got yourself a Saturday night, 66 and full lap races. This is one league, if I was in racing, I would be proud to be in here, because you're along with some of the best drivers that I know. So Vaxi is certainly keeping it lit, but he's not keeping it lit enough for the Dark Mark to be off his tail. He's very much on the tail, and he's wanting to try and make a move here, and he's going to do it. I'm on the Dark Mark, and he's just past Vaxi, and Vaxi's tightening in behind him, keeps it really nice and clean, and guess who's behind him? It's that Scottish haggis eater. It's DK. So DK's doing exactly what I thought he would do. He's up there in P3, and he should be well proud of this. I'd love to know what those soft tires are doing now. But just have a look at Dystopian. He's got himself up into P7 in this RB. And I love the colours of this RB. And he's chasing down Hilly. It looks to me like we've got good weather in Catalonia tonight, and we've got no clouds in the sky, so we're looking like a dry race. So it's time for the guys to think about their strategies. Are these medium guys going to go on to another set of mediums and then bang the softs on at the end? What's going to happen? It's all for the pan out during this race. Vice has got himself a 3-second penalty. Nobody's made a stop yet. But Morgan Hughes, he's had a bad day so far. He's down in the 12th position. I don't know what happened to Morgan. Has he had a stop? No, he hasn't. So something's happened, because Morgan was up in the top runners and he's just dropped down. So he must have come off the track and everybody's passed him. He's probably had a safe return to the track. And in doing that, he's had to let a lot of the drivers through. And yes, Dark Mark has taken that first position. But look at this. Round goes Vaxi. There's an absolute torturous battle going on in T1 here. And they're giving each other plenty of room as DK tries the outside move in the left. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. But by goodness, guys, this is fantastic to watch. So there is your... Wow. Misfits has made the first stop of the evening. I've just had a message through from Chris Poole. Hi, Poole. That's Pulley 1808 evening. Definitely a two-stopper. I would agree with you, sir. And the switchback nearly worked there. It was a great effort. DK's driving like a hero tonight, I must say. Yes, sir, I'm great. I'm in good form apart from a broken wrist. But the broken wrist has been taken over by commentary. So I'm not doing too much racing. I just can't stick the racing. After about 10 laps, 15 laps, I'm just in agony. And look, the Dark Mark has made the move. DK gets very close to the back of the gearbox of that Mercedes of Vaxi. But he keeps it clean, as they have done for the complete race so far. Yes, sir, I'll be back with you as soon as possible. I hope to be up there or in around the mid-grid. Who knows? Need to put the practice in, though. But we're riding on board with Dark Mark in this Ferrari. And look at this, in P9, Shaggy is having a look at Andrew Smith now. And Andrew's in that McLaren. And Shaggy is now the sandwich in between the two McLarens. So it's good to see those two McLarens separated, because they were making it very, very difficult for people to pass, as were the Red Bulls that are now separated as well, seeing Misfits has pitted. Yes, this season is going to be brilliant, mate. It really is. I can't wait. And I have so much up my sleeve in terms of streaming. It's going to be really good fun. And we're on board with Shaggy, and he's decided to go into the pits. Let's just stay on board to see what Shaggy's going to do. I would say he'll probably go on to another set of mediums. Morgan Hughes gets a 10-second penalty. There it is. Experienced driver makes the mistake that I've been watching all week. Just doesn't brake early enough and gets the 10-second penalty. He'll be furious. We've all done it. But we've now got 4 people in the lead. We've got Dark Mark in first, we've got Vaxi in second, and DK third, with Posty now in fourth. Daddy Day Snipes has got a 3-second gain to make up. So he's going to have to really concentrate and manage the ERS really well to be able to gather speed and catch these guys, because that ain't no easy job. So the swing round that right-hander. Nip and tuck all the way. 4 top drivers, 4 top spots. Who can make the distance? But Vaxi's getting to be very close to the Dark Mark here, and he's going to be lining himself up for a position change. That's for absolute certain. There seems to be a lot of separation going at the tail end, but DK's going into the pits. He's first of the top guys to go in. Hilly's the fastest lap at 1:17.3. Take a bow, Hilly. Keep her lit. Absolutely and utterly beautiful racing from the top 4 guys at the moment, and that is Dark Mark in first, Vaxi in second in the Mercedes, closely followed by the Aston Martin of Hosty, and Daddy Day Snipes now in 4th position as DK is pitted. So DK is the one to watch. He needs to start to make his way through the crowd, and he needs to do it cleanly. This is a vulnerable time for DK, and I'm just going to bounce on with him just to see how he's getting on. So he's in the mix, and he's chasing down that Aston Martin of Vice Racing's 3588. And let's see if he can make short work of this, because he needs to keep those laps fast. He doesn't want to be held up, because if he does, the top 3 guys are going to continue to put in the fast laps. A lot of people pitting now. Misfits put in the fastest lap at 1:17 dead. Oh, an outside move by DK, and he makes it stick. Yes, that's a beautiful move, but he's not being given up too easily. Vaxi and him are having an absolute battle here. DK's going to maybe try the inside move along here. Be patient, DK. Don't risk it. You've got the inside line. You've given the boy a wee bit of room there, but not an awful lot. But enough just to squeeze through. And the DRS zone is here. And Vaxi wants to get that move made now. He goes for an inside move, and he gives lots of room to... Oh yeah, he makes it stick round the outside. What a move, and well done, Vaxi. So this is a social race this evening. These thing, but the performance and their display tonight means everything, because the bosses will be watching, and they'll be allocating fast drivers, and they'll be allocating the faster cars to the slow drivers, as I said earlier in the stream. But DK's notched himself up into 5th place now, with Vaxi chasing him down, and I'm just going to ride on board with him. Hilly's not far behind them two either. Lap 23 of 66 laps here at Catalonia and Spain. Barcelona. I'm just going to have a wee check on the tyres now. Are they? Yeah, I'm going to check the tyres. And the Mark has put 23 in the mediums. So has Hosty and so has Daddy Day Snipes. And so has... So especially when you interact with me on Twitch. So keep those comments coming. But DK's now on the back of Fuse in that McLaren, and DK's going to want to make a move because Vaxy's made the move and Vaxy's got himself up in the fourth. But here comes DK on the outside. And he makes that stick and he takes the McLaren with ease, and he's now chasing down Vaxy. So whenever the Dark Mark, Hosty and Daddy Day Snipes go in for their pit stops, there's going to be big changes. And I wonder when they're going to go in. Yes, they're going in now. In goes Dark Mark in that Ferrari, and he's going to sit on a set of mediums. Hosty's still out, and the fastest lap goes to Vaxy at 1:16.7 in the Mercedes. Hilly's having a real punch here. He's at Fuse Demon's tail, and he's going round into the part of the track where moves can be made. So let's just see what he can do once he gets round here. He's going for an outside line, he's going for an outside, but he's going to be patient, and I reckon he's going to wait until he's at the top of the hill, and he'll try and get as much pace out of this corner, and he's going to try and make this move on the McLaren. And Fuse Demon's not going to know what hit him here if if Hilly gets this right. Hilly, let's be having you. DRS, but he's running out of road, so he's just going to have to stay patient, and he's going to have another go on the start and finish line. So look how close he is now to the gearbox of the McLaren, and Fuse Demon has got nothing to do here, only try and defend, and Fuse is right up for it. But what can he do now? I don't think he can do too much. 100% battery turning into the DRS zone here in Spain, and he's going to squeeze, and he's got the DRS, and he's going to try and make that move. But I'll tell you what, Fuse Demon is pressing hard on that ERS button, and he makes the move in the inside, and he makes it nice and cleanly with the Red Bull very close behind that. These three are battling something shocking, and it's clean and it's beautiful, and yet Hilly has just made a beautiful move too. Well done, Hilly. That's incredible racing with the McLaren now, and behind you with the Red Bull of Misfits not too far away now. Misfits is driving incredibly well tonight, I must say. But the top two guys are still out there on 25 lap old mediums. They have done their research. They have tried. They have done so much testing that they know, and they came into this race knowing that the mediums would last 25 to 26 laps, but I do think they're not going to last any more than 26. Hosty's in the pits in the Ferrari, and the Hosty stayed out, and the Dark Mark is pitted. So let's see where the Dark Mark comes out on the track here. This is crucial. He's going to come out about P6, I reckon. P5 anyway. Oh, he actually squeezed it even better into P4. He just robbed Hilly there. Super bit of driving, super bit of strategy, and that has really worked for him. And now Dark Mark, he will settle down and he will concentrate. As always, I always believe in Dark Mark. Just a real shame he's got a 3-second penalty. Pulley says that Vaxy will sit behind and wait. I dare say he will for a while. But we've now got those three guys up front again, and Dark Mark's in the mix, and Hilly's in the mix, and also Dystopian, one of my favourite drivers, is in the mix, and he's in this RB, and he's not making any fool of himself this evening. Many a podium this guy has had, and many a league win this guy has had, so I'm expecting Dystopian to possibly be in the top three. But let's see how he goes. So Hostie's in the pits, and Daddy Day Snipes just gets himself a 3-second penalty. So we'll just have a quick look at the stops. So everybody's had a stop apart from Fuse Demon and Master Spread. Now Master Spread's one that I'm going to be keeping a real close eye on because he ain't no slouch. But he's trying a real strange sort of a setup here. He's on 27 lap old medium tyres. And how far is he going to allow those tyres to go before he decides to change? If I was a betting man, I would say that he's going to go into the pits now. So let's just stay on Master Spread. But he's got Andrew Smith on the back. And Andrew's having a super clean race tonight, and it's super to see it. But here we go. 5 lap old hard or mediums versus 27 laps. And he makes that stick, and he's on the inside line, and he takes Master Spread. That's got to be a sign for Master Spread to make the pit stop. And let's just see if Master Spread goes into the pits. I say he will. Look at that car starting to get very, very squirrely. And round he goes. But he's not. He's staying out for another one. He's proven me wrong. Vice Racing is going on to the hard tyres. And I'm just going to bounce up into Jesus. That sounds really weird, but he's driving the Alpine and he's chasing down Misfits. Vice gets himself a 3-second penalty. Has a wee look there. He's just letting Misfits know he's there. And Misfits is now going to have a job holding this lad off. 7 lap old mediums versus 11 lap old mediums. So let's see what he can do. We're on board with Jesus in the Alpine. We're in Spain, and this is PRF1 on a Saturday night, and it's Hamilton Division, and I'm Gavin Bass, your commentator for this evening. Neck and neck. The inside line, but he doesn't make it stick. That Alpine takes that position, and I dare say that Alpine is going to hold that position, but that Red Bull of Misfits is chasing down Jesus. Lap 30 of 66. Catalonia, Barcelona, España. Master Spread gets a 10-second penalty warning. Oh my God, he will be absolutely boking after nursing those tyres for 27, 28 laps, and then he gets 10 seconds going into the pits. He's furious with himself. I see this day in, day out, and guys, you're just going to have to brake earlier and take the time. Might cost you a little, has to be done. So right back with the leaders. And there's Vaxi back in P1 where he likes it to be. DK's right on his tail in P2. And this is a fantastic race by DK tonight, the Scottish lad. So there you have your penalties. Master Spread's got 13 seconds. He's going to have to serve 10 seconds of those the next time he pits. Vice has got 6. Daddy Day Snipes has got 3. And Dark Mark has got 3. Dark Mark will be really unhappy about that. But he's got the skill to pull that 3 seconds if he does get anyway near the front. He's in P4. And I'm going to ride on board with him because he's chasing down Hosty in the Aston Martin. And they're coming close to this crucial part of the track where the moves can be made. So he's going to want to get onto the gearbox, but they've all got DRS. And Hilly's very close now. He's reeling him in as well. So the more these two battle, the closer Hilly's going to get. Hits that DRS zone. And he's going to try and get as tight to this Aston Martin as he possibly can, because he's got a 2-second gap from Hosty, and this is the time he can make the move. But he needs to get tight. I'm not sure he's going to have the power to do it here, so he's going to have to be patient. So down that straight start and finish line they come. And just look at Hilly. Hilly's trying his best to get on board. Hilly's definitely making up time in these corners, so whatever setup he's got in there, he's definitely making time on the corners. It's very obvious. Let's hope he can continue to do so. So everybody's made one stop at this Spanish Grand Prix, 32.66. Weather perfect, perfect racing conditions. And DK and Baxi are still battling it out in P1. Helicopter. Let's have a wee chat with a helicopter pilot. Helicopter pilot, helicopter pilot. This is Gavin Bass 1. Do you read me? Of course I read you, sir. I'm struggling to keep up with these two guys. They're so fucking fast. I've had to hit the turbo button to try and keep up with Baxi and DK. But Hosty's not too far behind either. What a race, and what excitement we have for the first Hamilton division race with PRF1, and the moves being made. Here comes DK on the outside, and he makes it stick, and Baxi goes in behind. Unbelievable. My friend is in the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. This is the guy that everybody made fun of. This is the guy that everybody had a laugh at. This is the guy that could not keep the car on the track. And this is the guy that has this middle finger up and saying, guys, fucking check me out. Morgan Hughes has just retired. He just hasn't been bothered since that incident. That's sad to see, Morgan, because you were a top runner for quite some time and you had very, very obvious pace. But I know what it's like whenever you just know in your own heart that the race is not going to be for you tonight. Sometimes it's just best to put the controller or the wheel down, grab yourself a beer and just say, another night. I have nothing to prove, says Morgan. I can do it the next time. But back to one of my other favourite drivers we go, and that's to Dystopian in P6, and he's now chasing down Hilly. He's been chasing Hilly for a long time, but just look at the speed he gained there on the straight. And I'm going to stay on board here because I'd like to see Dystopian making a move, and I'd like to see Hilly scrapping it out with him. Oh, he's made a dreadful mistake. Dystopian makes a very, very, very unfortunate mistake there. It's that old curb on the left, and he's got somebody on his outside, and it's the Ferrari of Daddy Day Snipes, and there's a battle going on here along that straight. Daddy's got the inside line, but he can't take it. Oh, Dystopian just gets a little close there, but they're giving them each other plenty of room as they go round this left-hander into the right-hander, and Dystopian is fighting for his life here. I don't think he took any damage there, but he just took too much of that curb and it didn't pay off whatsoever. He just put himself into a little squirrel, but he's right back at it. This shows character. And if I was Daddy Day Snipes, I would be looking in my mirror and I'd be saying, oh my God, look who's behind me. So we're more than halfway through this Grand Prix on a Saturday night in the Hamel division of PRF1. I'm Gavin Bass 1 and we're on board with Dystopian, who just made a little error earlier, just in around this spot I think it was. But he's got it together, he's got the smoothness going back into his driving, and he's just hitting this DRS zone now. And he's going to use that to get right up in the box here, and he's going to be wanting to be close to this Ferrari of Daddy Day Snipes so that he can make the move in the start and finish grid. He's got 75% of his battery left going round the right-hander, coming down to this final right swooping corner into the start-finish straight. And here they go. Can he make the move? Daddy Day Snipes is defending very, very well, I must say. So quite a bit of separation, but Jesus is on the back of Hilly. So we've got Hilly and Jesus, the Alpine and the Williams. They're going to have a little battle here, and we'll just see what they can do. Little battle going on again with Dystopian. He's trying his very, very best to get on to Daddy Day Snipes. But he's definitely having traction issues here. I can see that car just swirling a bit. What's his tire situation? Yeah, he's on 14 lap mediums working anymore. So I don't think Dystopian will stay out too much longer. It'll be interesting to see. But look at Shaggy. He was the guy that went on to the hards, and he's now in 9th position. There was a penalty there to somebody, I don't know what for. But guys, what a clean race. Yes, it's a social race, and yes, you have expressed yourselves round some of the corners. You've been a little tight at times. Probably wouldn't make those moves in a league race, but anyway, it is absolutely fantastic to watch, and I don't think there's anybody here could really make any complaints. Certainly not at any of the bits that I've been covering. Riding on board in this beautiful cockpit view, and we're on board with Shaggy, P9, and he does the same thing with that Dystopian did. He just rid that curb far too much, and he got that quiver. And like, he's got Andrew P. Smith. Andrew's having a cracking race tonight, I must say. Come on, Andrew. You've got a clean sheet and you're in P10. Be proud, buddy. That's a great race, sir. Again, thanks to all the viewers watching. Much appreciated. And I enjoy those little texts keeping me right with your opinions. So if you are watching and you do have any opinions, just send them in. Let me know who you think are going to be the top 3 of this race in Spain. But look at the amount of gain that was taken there in this McLaren. But I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to go straight on to the P1 position. In fact, I'm going to go on to P2. And I'm going to focus in on Vaxi, and I'm going to keep it on broadcast mode, and I'm going to treat myself to a double espresso and a cigarette. So this is called the commentator's break. So do bear with me, lads, and I'll be back within 2 or 3 minutes once I get a wee tug of my cigarette. The old Irish guys have to have their smoke. And DK still remains the leader of this race. 17 lap old medium tyres, and this is now down to the wire, and it's a battle of the strategies. Fuse Demon gets himself a 3-second penalty, and I'm off for my break. So welcome back from Gavin Bass 1. I've got my double espresso and my vape in front of me again, and I'm going to settle down and get my head round what has happened. But it looks like that lead from Vaxi. Fantastic drive. Vaxi's in second and Hosty's in third, and the Dark Mark still sitting in fourth position. And any one of these guys could win this Spanish Grand Prix this evening. Jesus is not far off that DRS train either. But behind that, there's a lot of separation apart from Daddy Day Snipes, and I'm just going to go on with him. Daddy Day Snipes is the guy that speaks to me quite a bit through Discord to give me a few pointers about what's going on. He's one of the lads that puts a lot of work into ensuring that... Oh, is there a safety car? Oh my goodness, it's a safety car. Who's it been? Oh my goodness. It's a safety car. The 37% has been realised. That old safety car has come out. So I'm going to go up right to the P1 and I'm just going to stay on here to see what these guys are going to do. 22 lap old hards for mediums for DK. And there are 23 laps of this Grand Prix behind. And DK stops on the track for some reason. What's going on? I'm not too sure, but Dark Marcus just got himself a penalty for a severe collision with Hosty. Oh, that's unfortunate from such a clean race. I don't know what happened there, but there was a bit of braking that went on in the track that didn't look natural. I'm sure the guys will have something to say about that. I'm not too sure what has happened. Dark Mark 10-second penalty now for ignoring the flag. Oh my God, Dark Mark's race. I'm really, really, really sorry to see this. 23 seconds of penalties to be served. Go after the pits, and he's going to have a long stay in here. Let's just give him the full 20 seconds in here. I'm on board with Dark Mark in the pits. I think they've only given him a 10. And off he goes back out. Oh no, he's got rid of the 20 seconds. That's good. No, he hasn't. I'm sorry, I've got it wrong. He still has. So he's going to get another 10-second penalty when he's in pits next time, if there is a next time. He might be able to make these tyres stretch to the very end. But everyone's just gathering up now. And it's such an unfortunate whatever happened there. Confusion. There was nothing sinister went on. I think DK trying to let some position back. His Delta. What has happened here to tell him that he's actually going too fast and he's had to slow down. He's probably panicked and he squeezed that brake pedal, trying desperately to try and get that red into the green, because if he didn't, he would have got a penalty. And when he did that, the drivers behind have had the effect of what you could call nearly like a brake test. But he wasn't brake testing anybody. He was just doing what he needed to do, and he's admitted up to it, and I'm certain that he will put something in the chat later to apologise for that, because he's a kind guy. He's an ambitious lad, and he won't want that to have happened to anybody. I know that for a fact. So if anybody was involved in that incident with DK, listen to Gavin. I can assure you that there was nothing meant there at all. Only his Delta give him the warning. Just really, really, really unfortunate. I'm so sorry for anybody that got tied up in that. But the drivers are now lining up behind this safety car and they're waiting for everybody to come on board. So there's going to be at least one more lap. I'm Gavin Bass 1 and we're in the safety car situation here at Catalunya in Barcelona, Spanish Grand Prix with the Hamilton Saturday night division, full race, and this is the new league that is showing lots of potential for fantastic viewing on a Saturday night for anybody who's interested. I'm just going to have a wee look at these tyre situations. A lot of people have stuck on, and are they going to try and do the 21 laps on the softs? They're at the end of this race. In fact, they are in puncture territory. But Baxi has put a set of hards on, so he's definitely going to stay out. DK's got the softs on, he's in P2. Jesus is in P3, Dystopian P4, Hilly's in 5, Posty 6th, Daddy Day Snipes is in 7th, Andrew P. Smith, who I think is having a fantastic race and a clean sheet, is in P8, Shaggy's in P9, the Dark Lord's in P10, Vice Racing in the Aston Martin is in P11, Misfits in the Red Bulls P12, and Master Spread, who's having a terrible race for his standards, he's in P13. The Dark Mark's now dropped down to P14, and Fused Demon is in 15, with Morgan having a DNF. So still, Fused Demon is a long way behind, and these guys are going to have to wait for Fused to catch up. So they're weaving and ducking here to try and keep the temperatures into the tyres. So have a look at those position changes now. One of my favourite drivers. I know I rave on about him, and I don't mean to be showing any favouritism, but Dystopian, this lad here in the Red Bull, the Racing Bull car, he is one of my favourite drivers because he's so smooth, he's so patient, and he's gracious on the track. He's a bit like Dark Mark. He knows how to race, and I know he has a strategy in his head, and he will execute it, and I would expect him to be in the top 3 at least at the Spanish Grand Prix. So along comes Fuse, and Fuse is now going to be coming round onto the back of this pack, and we just might have a restart of this race under safety car conditions, and it's going to be a mad scrap into the first corner, and Vaxi's going to try his very, very best to try and catch them sleeping, to try and gain sort of a lead. So we'll right on board. I think the safety car is going to come in. Right on with DK. So off the top, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, they're all in the DRS zone. This is a fantastic race here in Spain for the first Saturday race. And the stewards and the administration staff are going to be very busy trying to determine what cars go where for this new season coming in. That Aston Martin is going very well, of Posty in P4. I say this in a lot of my streams, and I really mean it, because whenever there are little incidents on track, afterwards in the chat it can get a bit heated, and there's some people say, oh, don't worry about it, it's just a game, and then there are others that take it really, really seriously. Well, I tend to agree with the guys that take it really seriously, as Hosty gets a 1.1621 fastest lap for you, take a bow, and the Aston Martin makes another inside move and takes P3. He takes Jesus, and he's off, and he's into P3. But continuing on from what I was saying, I don't see this as a game. I see this as a competitive sport. Reason I say that is people study the form, they look at strategies, they look at tyres, they look at fuel, they look at lots of things. And they're out there to win this race. They're not out to have fun. Well, of course they're out to have fun, but they take it very, very seriously. And I can tell you, after a 66 lap race, they will be exhausted and they will crack open a beer or a drink, and they will definitely be glad to see the checkered flag this evening. DK takes the race lead again. He has a wee bit of a squirrely tire situation there too. Maybe it's just my lag on the computer. He holds that off. But have a look at Hosty. Hosty's a man on fire. He has himself in a potential podium position now in P3. All top three drivers have no penalties against their name. Dystopian still has that 9 position upwards change, and the Dark Mark is suffering an 11 position down after his incident that caused the safety car to come out, and that was due to a late break and really nothing to do with him, so he has suffered. 1:15.4 for Shaggy 653. What a fantastic lap from Shaggy. You take a bow and you keep her lit. But look at this racing bull of Dystopian. He's making the move on the outside, and he's making that move work. Or is he? Oh, it's neck and neck round this corner. Oh, there is some fantastic battling going on here, and gracious driving, each other's space. This is what it's all about, guys. This makes it fun for everybody, and it certainly makes it fun for the commentator. So 8 guys all in a battle for position 1 with 16 laps to go, as Dystopian still holds that P4 position, but he's got that Ferrari of Daddy Daysnipe behind him, and Daddy ain't going to be sitting there for too long, so let's see what he's got to do. Hits the DRS. Is everybody else behind him keeping it clean? Yeah. All very, very clean. What's going on behind with Vice? So he's got Shaggy just behind him, and the Dark Lord behind him, and the Dark Mark is up to P12. So the Dark Mark is making a move now. But he's going to struggle. He's still those penalties to serve. And that is going to go against him terribly. Just going on with Master Spread for a minute, because he's having a look at a chase down with Fuse. It's not often you see Master Spread in P14. He's just having a bit of a shit night. He will admit that himself. I would say he's got the wrong setup. That would be my guess. Oh, look at this. This car's just not behaving well for Master Spread at all. And he's had a terrible off there, and there's a caution. I don't know what has happened to him. Oh, he's just the wing and everything's off. I would say he's going to retire. And I wouldn't blame him. He's had enough. Let's just see if he does retire. He's in no rush into that pit. He's lost all his concentration. He's lost all his confidence. And I think he's going to say good night. No, he's a warrior. He's going to get a wing on the front, and he's going to see the race out. like a true professional. But let's just bump back onto the race leader, and that's DK. Out comes the safety car again. So this is the second safety car of the evening, and this is the opportunity for the tyre change. And on that note, let's have a look at the tyres. So DK's on the 8-lap-old softs, and I'm not too sure those are the right tyres to be on to do another 14 laps on. I'm really not sure. Will he dive in and put a set of mediums on or whatever he has left, or will he stay out? He's going to stay out. He's going to battle it out. He wants track position. So this is the battle of the tactics now. And there's a lot of lads going into the pits. Daddy Day Snipes is in the pits. So that Ferrari is going to set on a nice new set of running tyres, and look at the pit stops going on behind. This is strategy and tactics at its very, very best, with only 13 laps to race in the Spanish Grand Prix with PRF1 on a Saturday evening. Dystopian does it. The man that I really believed in has done it. He has got the 10-second dreaded pit stop penalty. These guys have been so used for a year, racing week in, week out, of the brakes. They practice, they know where to hit the brakes for the pit stops, and this game has just thrown an absolute curveball at them. And even though they're maybe even following the guideline, and the yellow comes on the guideline to hit your brakes, if you're on that yellow line going into the pits, you have left it too late. You need to brake before that yellow line, or you're going to pick up a 10-second penalty. So that's really, really unfortunate for Dystopian. That's going to cost him. So I dare say there's going to be another lap of this safety car at least, while they all gather up. And we're going to have a look at the tyre situation again now, and everybody's on 0%. From P9 down, they're all on softs. And everybody else in those 9-lap-old hards, or softs, are staying out. Andrew P. Smith, after me ranting and raving about Andrew, he's got the dreaded curse. That curveball has hit him as well. This is a bloody nightmare, is the only way I can describe this pit stop. I've seen it all night, every night this week. It will be a topic of conversation in the Discord chat later. This pit stop 10-second penalty. I have done a lot of research. I've asked a lot of the drivers during the week, is this a glitch or is this driver error? And from what I can gather from the information I've been given, it is driver error and just a featuristic of this game. So they're waiting on Dystopian to come round now and join this pit, or this peloton of F1 cars, to then let them start the race again on their safety car with only 12 laps to go. What an exciting finish to what a brilliant Spanish Grand Prix on a Saturday evening. Safety car in this lap, so I'm going to bounce on with the leaders. And we're on with DK, but I'm going to go on with Hosty, and Hosty's in that Aston Martin, and he's had a great race. He would definitely be a contender for driver of the day. He's penalty free, and he's sitting in P2. DK was a contender for the race, but he did cause that crash, and he has admitted to it like a brave man, and that's gracious of him. But here comes this Aston Martin, and he takes that position in P1, but he's got that inside of DK. This is fantastic stuff. DK has had to settle for P2, but look at Vaxi, he's out in P3 and he's chasing them down as well. Unbelievable racing here in Spain. Let's have a wee look at behind what's going on. We're on board with Vice, and Vice is chasing down Darkmark. Isn't it absolutely brilliant to see Darkmark in position 6 after the nightmare that he had? That's phenomenal. How does this guy do these things? I would love to know what he's had for breakfast. But he's certainly knocking the snap, crackle and pop right out of this Ferrari now, as we've got two Ferraris together, and he's going to be chasing down Daddy Day Snipes in that P4 position. And Darkmark has pulled the miracle out after his unfortunate incident on track earlier. Guys, I know you're going to watch this stream back, and the only thing I would ask you to do, and where I get my kicks, is please, please, please enjoy the playback and give me a follow on Twitch. And in return for that, I will give you the best commentary I can give you going into the season in both the Lauda League and the Hamilton League now on a Saturday night. And again, a massive thank you to the owner of this league and the administrators of this league for making this possible. But I think I saw there that Master Spread got a 3-second penalty. He did. And I think I saw that Dystopian got another 10-second penalty. Let me just check these penalties. I'll just check the fastest lap first, and it's still held by DK at 1:15.2. So if this was a league situation, DK has a chance for those extra points. But here goes the penalties. Yes, Dystopian has that 10-second, and Vice gets a 3-second. So it's all heating up here. And we're on with the race leader, and this is Hosty. But DK still on his tail, and on his tail is Vaxi. So these three have been featuring in this race a lot tonight because they've been holding tight and they've been holding their position. And apart from that one little incident, this has been a fantastic race. But look at Hilly. Hilly's not out of it either. He's in this Williams, and he's got a Williams of Shaggy behind him, but he's chomping at the bit here to get on Darkmark's tail, and he's going to try and make this move past Darkmark on the straight, and he's got that car lined up beautifully, and I would be certain Hilly's going to take position 5 here. As he sweeps round this right-hander, he'll wait for that DRS zone. He's got 90% of the battery and squeezes the life out of it on the ERS, and he's going to make the move, and he's going to take it in the outside, and he makes it work, and he takes the inside line with Darkmark behind him, and behind Darkmark we've got Shaggy 563 or 635. Unbelievable, I got it wrong, 653. Dystopian's behind them, but Dystopian will be aware that he's got a 10-second penalty, and that has spoilt his race to a degree. But I'm sure Dystopian is still having a ball with this tight, close racing, as Misfits gets the fastest lap at a 1:15 dead, apart from 900ths of a second. He got a 1:15. So a 1:15 in race pace in this Spanish Grand Prix is one hell of a lap, and take a bow, Misfits. There's been a caution. I'm not too sure what happened there. I missed that. It's really difficult when you're on your own, but I'm trying to see here if there's any damages. Not that I can see. But they're back to racing speed, and Hosty's leading this race, but DK, he wants that first position this evening. Vice has just got himself 12 seconds there. "59 laps of 66 laps here in Spain, and this is shaping up to be a phenomenal three-way battle, with Hilly doing his very best to try and get into the DRS zone of Daddy Day Snipes in P4. But right now it's a four-way battle, and I'm on with these four, and I'm staying on these four. These guys have had a great race and they've earned it. I would say there's a few beads of sweat on these guys' forehead after this, because this has been really, really heavy concentration. And one thing these guys have had all race has been focus, and they're focused very much on winning this race. So in goes the Aston Martin. There's a safety car again. What caused that? Oh, look at it behind. There's been... Oh, the Dark Lord has a DNF. Master Spread has had a DNF. Andrew looks like he's retired. I don't know what happened there, but there has been an incident. I'm sure the drivers will let me know, or let Discord know, what has happened. But that's really, really unfortunate to have a safety car so late on in the race. And everybody's diving in and doing different things now, so this is an opportunity for people to gather. The Dark Mark's in P9 now. Hosty's got himself down to P8, so I missed that, but it must have involved Hosty. So Vice is going into the pits by the looks of it. Is he going to retire, or is he going to put a set of softs on? He's putting the softs on, and he's now got a long way to chase down the pack. So I'm going to bang on to the front, and I'm going to go for another smoke while the safety car is on board. But what I will do for you guys tomorrow, I'll cut out all the safety car stuff, and I'll cut out all the quali stuff, and I'll put together a little race highlight show for you together, put a wee bit of music in and make it very watchable. So if you don't want to watch the stream later and go through all the boring bits, I will have something together for you tomorrow. I'll be putting it on YouTube, and I'm hoping that will get between 2,000 and 3,000 views, because this has been a great, great race and a great advertisement for PRF1 League. And guys, you should be really proud of it. And it's nice to see guys racing tonight from other leagues. It just means that the love's being spread and everybody's not offended by inviting other leagues in. And Dark Mark has a fantastic league on a Sunday night called TSD, with a great commentator called Mad Mark, and I must admit that's what got me into racing. And I'm sure Dark Mark would be delighted if anybody would like to have a race on the Sunday night, as long as it doesn't clash with any racing in the PRF1 League. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't race on a Sunday night, so I'm sure Dark Mark would invite you into his league open-handed, and I know he has a few seats there. So give Dark Mark a shout if you want a Sunday race, and give the Sunday Drive some support. Another great league with a pile of really good drivers, and probably the best commentator in the league, with Mad Mark doing comms on a Sunday evening. And I'll be back with you very shortly. "61 laps of 66, and we're under safety car, and there's still a couple of guys still to try and get behind it, so they're going to go on to another lap by the looks of it as the safety car goes over the start-finish line. So yes, we're going to go, and we're going to have 3 or 4 laps of nose-to-tail racing And it's just unfortunate that we've had 4 DNFs, and that's Dark Lord, Master Spread, Andrew P. Smith, and Morgan Hughes. Some fantastic drivers there just didn't make it tonight, but everybody's allowed an off night. Lovely to see Hilly in P4. Anybody has got a chance to win this Spanish Grand Prix tonight. This is going to be down to racecraft, and this is going to be down to pure skill to who wins this race. And the safety car's coming in this lap, so we're getting ourselves prepared for the final sprint of the Spanish Grand Prix. And this is exciting, and DK has got the lead car going in to the start of this race as he swerves and keeps the heat in these tyres. And he's away, and Vaxi's right behind him. And DK got off there, really good one there. But this is going to be tight. Let's have a look. So we've got DK, Vaxi, Daddy Day Snipes, Hilly and Shaggy all in P1 to 5, and this is going to be a horrendous battle. Nerves will start to tingle here as they come very close to the end of the Grand Prix. I'm Gavin Bass 1 and I'm having a ball tonight, guys. Thank you very, very much for having me on board as your commentator for this fantastic league, Hamilton Division, on a Saturday night with the PRF1 Racing League. Let's hope that there's no more accidents, because we don't want any catastrophes from now to the end of the race, as those two guys have a battle in the Williams. Hilly. Let's go. Hi Hilly, keep her lit, my son. I'm 61 years old and I'm proud of it. In these leagues, and I really do intend to give the new seasons a really good shot in the leagues that I race for. But let's just ride on board with the leaders. I'm on with DK and he's got the Bowl Vaxi. He's got Vaxi right on the back, and very soon. Vaxi needs to look after that battery. I wonder what DK has, and DK's only got 22% and Vaxi's only got 27%. So they're going to have to build a car to make any moves in this start and finish ground. So this is where I say it's a battle of the driver's skill to really build that battery and get the most out of it for the final laps here at Catalonia. All in a line, and Dark Mark gets a 3-second penalty. He will be unhappy tonight, I know he will. But I'm sure he's had fun. And to be in P6 after the catastrophe that he had earlier is an absolute credit to him as a driver. But we're still on board with Vaxi, and he's really trying to make the move on DK as they go round this right-hander, coming into this part of the track where the moves are made. And we're now in this lovely cockpit view, and Vaxi's got that Alpine at DK all in his sights. And Shaggy's got a 3-second penalty, so even though he's in P3, I don't think he's going to end up in P3 at the end of the race. He could be nipped by Hilly, and Hilly's not too far away either. Hits the DRS zone, but I'm going to get bouncing back to DK. DK's taking the... Yes, DK's still holding the lead, sorry. Vaxi really trying everything in his arsenal to try and win this race. Both of them penalty free, and both have driven a really good race. I'm absolutely 100% certain it's a 3-second penalty, but I'm absolutely certain DK will publicly apologise for what happened as Vaxi now takes the lead of this Spanish Grand Prix on lap 66. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's been a fun race, and I think Vaxi's going to speed on here and win this race. Look at the battle going behind. DK still in second, and Hosty third, and Shaggy fourth, and Dark Mark's now in fifth. What a fifth position for Dark Mark. I am raving about this guy. He is... Oh, and he's just got a P4 by the looks of it. He's keeping it in the inside. Let's go on to Dark Mark. Yes, he's got P4. But he has a 6-second penalty. So I'm going on board, and I'm going to welcome these drivers over the start and finish line. Starting with Vaxi. Can DK make one final move? Can Hosty make one final move? And can Dark Mark do anything about this? But no, Vaxi is going to take the race win at the Spanish Grand Prix in this Hamilton division for PRF1 with a battle going into second. DK gets a second, and Hosty gets third. Wow, lads, that was an incredible race. An incredible race, an absolutely fabulous result for Vaxi. And Vaxi gets my driver of the day, without a doubt. He jumps onto the podium on P1. So there it is. The Mercedes gets P1. He raises that cup, looks down at his crowd, thanks his crew. They've had a good day. The crowd are cheering. They open up the champagne and they absolutely cover each other in it. And we'll just wait for the final leaderboard whenever it takes all the penalties into consideration and gives us an absolute... There's the race strategy, or the race results. We've got Vaxi, the winner. Misfits is the fastest lap. Driver of the day with the game is Misfits. Jesus gets the most overtakes, and the cleanest driver was Misfits. What a race, guys. And there you have it. Vaxi 1, DK 2, and Hosty 3. Hilly 4, and Jesus 5th. Dark Mark ended up with 7th with his penalties, and Misfits came 6th. Shaggy 7th. What a race. What a fabulous night. And I can only say thank you to everybody who viewed it and will view it. And again, a highlight show together for you all tomorrow. And you can enjoy that if you don't want to go through the whole race again. But there we have it. That was the Spanish Grand Prix. That was the Hamilton division of the PRF1 League. And it's all new, and now the administrators and stewards can have their chat, and they then will in turn be able to allocate all the drivers with the cars that they will be driving in the first race of the new season. So that's the race over. It's a Saturday night. I'm Gavin Bass 1. I've had a fantastic... All the drivers and all the viewers have had a good evening. I hope I did you well tonight with my... It's the first time I've ever done comms on a 100% race. Never done it before. Struggled a bit at times. But I have a little nephew who has offered to help me in the new season, and I hope he stays to his word, because he's going to do spotter for me, and he will then be able to alert me to a lot of in front or behind of where I am at that part of the time. So on that note, again, thanks to everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm Gavin Bass 1. This has been PRF. This is the and a good night, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And don't forget,
Gavin Bass one on the microphone. The energy is high, feel the vibe in the zone. Engines roar as the lights go down. Racers ready, it's a battle for the crown. Who will rise? Who will stand tall? On the top step, they'll answer the call. With hearts racing and spirits ignited, the champion's moment is finally sighted. Adrenaline pumping, the crowd is alive. Speeding through corners, they take the dive. Every lap counts, the stakes are set. In this game of skill, there's no room for regret. Listen closely, hear the engine scream. Chasing glory, living the dream. Battles unfold on the asphalt track. In pursuit of victory, there's no turning back. Feel the thrill as the tires grip tight. Under the stars, everything feels right. Each curve a story, each turn a chance. In this high-speed dance, we all advance. As the checkered flag waves, the night concludes. The champion shines in the spotlight's hues. With the roar of the fans, they take their bow.